Hey everybody, my name's Ethan Galka, and I have about a decade's worth of experience in music writing and composition in various different styles, from jazz to classical to heavy metal primarily. And I have about 8 years worth of experience in other various audio engineering fields, from live sound to post-production. And today, I'd love to show you all how I get my heavy metal tone and get it sounding just fat and thick. So let's get right on into it. So first things first, with any DAW digital audio workstation that you're working on, you want to make sure your session's in order with labels, with and colors as well. Bass is green for me. It's all labeled up. I can see visually where everything's going, so I'm not going to get lost in my own session. All right. The real number one trick: always double track your guitars. As you can see, these two guitar parts, if I solo this, are the same. They're the same part. One is panned to the left, one is panned to the right. I apologize. And it gives a thickness to the sound that you can't get anywhere else. Even if you just double copy the track over and pan it, it's not going to be as thick as grabbing your guitar and doing a second entire take, an entire run through to lock it down. Next up is getting a good tone split. I personally use bias effects. This is the right guitar over here, with a gate. Make sure there's no noise coming in. The amp. Then there's my cat in the background, and a compressor to bring the volume lows up and the volume highs to kind of make sure everything's even. Left guitar wise, it's basically the same thing, minus the compressor, because this one I want to have a little bit more breadth, a little bit more variance and dynamics. And the bass wise is probably the most complex tone, with a split into two different amps. One very grimy up top, and then one relatively clean on the bottom to let the notes actually cut through, with this lower split. But the upper split, it just adds the grime and the filth in there. If I turn on the bass over here, oop, there we go, and solo it, you can hear just how there's the clean one, and then switch it over, get the fatness, get the thickness. Lots of crunch, lots of bite in there. From there on, we go into the post-processing and effects and stuff. On the bass side, I have a multi-band compressor to squash down the lows somewhat, to keep the middle section of the frequency spectrum really tight down, because that's where the guitars sit. And then I let the high end fully breathe. I try to compress very little of it in the bass, because it just adds that sizzle alongside the drums, and it's just perfect. EQ wise, I like to keep the bass frequencies. I maybe drop off like the super low lows, and then kind of scoop out from like 800 to 2K or so. Leave that space for the guitar, so the guitar can really punch in through that low middle frequency band. Guitar post-processing wise, I EQ drop the anything basically under 100 hertz, because that's bass and kick frequencies. On the left guitar, this one's the more warmer or full-bodied tone, I should say. So it just kind of sits normal. Anything a little bit above 10K, I cut off, but pretty bog standard EQ. For the right tone, it's pretty much the same thing. Around 2K, I like to boost it, give it that brightness, so that guitar sits exactly where the bass cut out. And then the solo guitar, which in this song is just ambiance, drop everything from about 50 or 60 to so, and then just gradually taper it up a little bit. Keep those high ends nice and sparkly, keep it nice and crisp, and then from there, the tone becomes this. That's how you get metal tone in under 5 minutes. I'm just barely over. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.